All right, today we're going to be covering a couple of things. It's going to be a more lighter day as far as like new material, and the stuff is that we're covering today. Good to know, not absolutely necessary to know on any assessments or anything like that. Just know it exists, and you may run into it at some point in your software engineering career. And then that one is specifically regular expressions. Has anybody ever heard of regular expressions? Yep. I think there was like an example of it in the pre-work maybe at some point. I'm not quite sure. But can anybody kind of enlighten the class on what regular expressions are and kind of why they are used?
It's a like specific cross-language way of identifying like patterns and stuff like that, or specifying patterns.
Yeah, it's it's really just about pattern matching for characters and strings within your programming language. Every programming language has some variation of regular expressions. There are slight differences, but nothing that's totally completely foreign between one language and another. So you've all come across the use of regular expressions on the web. You may just not know that it's being used behind the scenes. So for example, have you ever like filled out a new sign up form and you have to type in a phone number if you're applying for an application, or just type in your social security number somewhere, and if you type it in wrong or if the format isn't correctly, it'll like highlight and it's like, hey, that's not the correct format. Or even with like passwords, things that require like a minimum character count, like special characters, certain number or certain length of numbers or characters. More likely than not, that's using some form of regular expression. It's looking at what you're typing in. It's doing some pattern matching to see if it meets some requirement. And then it's displaying to you true or false. It's not necessarily displaying anything to you, but it returns something to the computer saying like, hey, this matches, this is good. Or if this matches, this doesn't match what we want it to match. And it will do something. It might highlight something red or give some visual cue to you that what you typed in was wrong to like fix it. All right, so let me share my screen. And majority of the time, regular expressions will be used in forms, such as like right here. This is the one main financial form we're going to be applying for a loan. And inside of this form, there's HTML, and in the background, there's probably JavaScript. And anytime I type in here, it's probably executing some function that is seeing what my input is and running it through my regular expression to see if there's any pattern matching. And if there is, then it's going to output something to me. So for example, I want to apply for a loan. I want to buy some, AMC stock or GME or whatever, buy some, Dogecoin or Bitcoin, some Solana. And, I'm going to take out $10,000. Good. If I click, all right, this is for a other. Now, it's not just displaying anything to me as a user because possibly, this meets the minimum requirements of the regular expression. It meets what I'm typing in. But say if I type in something like that, and now I'm like, okay, that's good. And now it doesn't match whatever my regular expression, the pattern matching combination I have in there doesn't match this because this has some invalid characters in it. Maybe it's only looking for digits in here. So it's like, cool. All right, $10,000, but maybe I want to take out, $1 million. It won't let me do that. It won't let me take out $1 million. It won't even let me take out $100,000. So it looks like 99. So does it allow me to take out 15,000? So yeah. So that's what regular expressions will do inside of a form. Other places where regular expressions you'll see is in like passwords, date of birth. That one doesn't look good. So like social security number. I'm not going to type mine in specifically, but social security number, because so many people will type in their social security numbers in a different way. Like I think in the military, like we just do it without any spaces, without any dashes. It's just like all the numbers without any separation. But a lot of people like to see the dashes. Some people put like decimal points in there. So yeah. Same with phone numbers. Phone numbers are a notorious way of formatting. So there's a million different ways people format phone numbers. So when I create a phone number, so like, 630-624-0015, like having phone numbers run through like a regex, that's also what it's called. There's regular expressions, but it's also known as a regex, regex. Phone numbers are notorious because people format those, 10 different ways. So you kind of want to make sure that whenever a user is typing into a form that the format is correct. And there's plenty of different, so like, and then when I click out of it, it adds that little comma in there. So that's also like regular expressions. It's allowed to do like insert stuff in there or replace values. What was I going to say? I just was going to say it. So yeah, regular expressions, you'll see it in places. You don't need to memorize any of these pattern matching, these pattern matches, but let's just know that it's out there and they exist. But let's actually go in, and there's a bunch of different like websites to help you determine what pattern to actually use to match a specific whatever you're actually trying to match. So let's just look Rubular. I think Rubular is a good one. So this is for Ruby, but you can use it for Python, JavaScript. They're all relatively the same. But here's like a Ruby regular expression editor. You can also see we got plenty of resources down here. And Python X, regex1, JavaScript, all these are different ways you can test your regular expressions. But let's actually just use Rubular for right now, just because it's a little easier to see. So say there's we want to test a phone number. So like 312-555, 1234. So there's a bunch of ways people type in phone numbers. So here's one way a person will type in a phone number. Here's another way, with a space 555-1234. There's people that put it without a space. There's people that will put +1 for the zip code, or I'm sorry, the country code, 2, and then use like decimal points. +1 with a space, +1 without a space, with like something like that. So there's like a bunch of different ways people will type in a phone number. And down here, there's this quick reference guide as to like how you can go about matching these. So if I wanted to match all the digits, let's just kind of walk through this together. I wanted to match all the digits of these strings. So you can reference this down here as to like what I should type in up here. So I can use like ABC. So if I wanted to just check any ABC, notice how my match results are just ABC, but not DEF, GHIJ. So my regular expression only matches ABC up here. But say I wanted to match just numbers. How would I go about doing that?
You can do 0 through 9 or 0-9.
So 0-9. All right, yeah, that's one way I can do it. But since I'm using a phone number, so a phone number has what, 9 digits? So that doesn't work. What if I just want to grab the first, 9 digits?
I think you have to use that like curly brace combined with what he just did earlier, or like the digit indicator, but the curly brace lets you choose X amount of whatever.
Like that? Well, this thing, the curly brace?
What he already did, and then you add the curly brace to it behind it.
Like that?
3, I think. That should, I guess that selects all 3, but yeah.
Okay. So I've got 0 through 9. So that grabs 3. So first 3 digits. But so for like the fourth, the end part, where there's 4 of them.
Add a comma and a 4.
Add a comma. And then this with a 4. Like that.
Bracket. So it should be open square bracket 0 through 9, closed square bracket, open curly bracket, 3, 4, closed curly bracket.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's still, yeah, I'm getting those, but it's still matching this. So this would still technically qualify as a valid phone number with this regular expression, which I kind of don't want. So is there another way? And do we need 0 through 9? Because we also have that /D also does the same thing. So the /D or the \D grabs any digit. If I do /, go
Also-
ahead.
You could also put in, I guess, like the or, I guess, which is regular parentheses. So that you would have like 3 items and then like a parentheses or a white space, then another 3 items, and then a dash or a white space, something like that.
So, so I'm just trying to think.
Or is the question mark that you can have it or you cannot have it. Well, it's optional is what I should say.
Was it like something like this? Or no, that's not right. So I just want to also let you all know, you are not expected to memorize any of this. Like, this isn't something you'll ever be tested on. Like, what's the regular expression if you want to match phone numbers with that? Like, that will never come up.
So I can't quite see, I'm getting a little bit old, but there is an option on the right side that says exactly. So it's what Ty had suggested, but I think there's a letter A to the left of it.
Yep. So this is an example that exactly 3 of like 3 A's.
Oh, okay. So it's
So
not
if I did
quantity
that,
of the
yep.
count. Okay.
Maybe I do 3 Ds followed by 3 Ds. Well, no, that's not what I want. Apparently that's hacking. Nope.
Sick reference, bro.
What's that?
It's sweet reference to ongoing events.
I appreciate the reference.
Oh, yeah. So that doesn't work. Will this match any of them? Like 3, 1, 2. Okay. So it looks like you can also add like what middle value you want in there. So maybe I wanted to match that. But is there like any word boundary between 3 and 6? 3 or more? I just want to see.
Why don't you try the $sign at the end of that to say that you want to look for the end of the line?
Say that one more time. $sign at the end of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
And
I
now you're
can,
gonna find the end of the line. That still shouldn't be a match though. So you could do the beginning of the line by doing the upper caret at the very beginning of that input.
so upper caret like so. So that's the beginning of the line. So cool. So that works for that. So that works for that. But just so you know, like we're not gonna actually like find this answer, but I just want to show you that this is kind of what regular expression is kind of have to go around, and maybe I just want to find all the white space in here. So like there's all the white spaces, any non-white space character. So this grabs all the characters except for any white space. So
It's something to note about what you just did there, right? You just did all of the non-white space characters, right?
yep.
It's hard to see it here, but those are all individual matches. And so it would return to you like in a match object. It would be basically a list of all the separate different matches of A and B and C and so on.
Yep. So yeah. So let's actually kind of go through and make directory and just kind of show you a couple examples of how you would actually use that within like Python. So make directory, regex. So cd into regex. I'm gonna do like a regex.py, touch regex.py, open or code regex.py. There we go. So for Python and regular expressions, you'll need to import the RE regular expression library. And let's actually just look at some documentation. So just type in Python regular. So look at, they've got like cheat sheets because no one's gonna actually memorize anything. So here's just like a quick cheat sheet for that. Regular expressions. I didn't want the cheat sheet. So here, again, this is pretty much the same. So the regular expression library has a bunch of methods in here, like scans through the string looking for the first location where the regular expression pattern produces a match. So this is like searching through a regular expression. So this is where you pass in the actual pattern followed by the string you want to look through. So same with if zero, same with match, full match, split. These are all methods that you can utilize. Regular re.findAll, you pass in that pattern. So you'll need to import the RE, the library. And if we wanted to, let's actually create a pattern. And in here, you'll want to utilize the R instead of just like using just a basic string, such as, let's do string June 24th. We can do regex pattern equals R is like the actual regex. So this is going to be the string we're going to be searching through. And this is going to be the regex pattern we want. So like A through Z and any capital letters A through Z. Plus any digits. So if we do print re.search, and we want to use the regex expression or the regular expression, the pattern we want to look for, and we're going to input the string. So if we Python regex, so we get this match object. So it matches June 24th. So that's what it actually matches for that. Same thing if we do the match. Pretty much the same thing. But match only returns the first, as you can kind of see. If 0 matches are returned, yeah, it just returns when it does find a match. We can see that, but if we do regular expression match and we do like a string, another string, see what that matches. So this string is just June 24th. This another string has multiple dates in it, but the match only matches the very first pattern that actually matches it. So, yeah. So you have match, you also have find all, where you can utilize find all. So if I do like match, I'm sorry, matches equals read.find all, regex pattern, another string for match in matches, we can print the match. So I'm going to comment out or all the other print statements. And now you get a tuple of the matches where it finds the different matches. So there's one match where it says June, and then here's the other where it's the date, and it separates them via tuple. But that's just regular expressions. Again, you're not going to memorize all of them, but just know that there are those cheat sheets out here using Rubular or Python X. Here's, again, they all have cheat sheets because you're not expected to memorize them all. You just kind of have to do like a trial and error and check them. Oh, yeah. Any questions about regular expressions?
Can you say again what the R is? After the regex pattern equals R.
Oh, yep.
Is
So
that
that turns it, this turns this into like a raw string. Yeah, it's just, it prevents, like, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, like, it just turns it into a raw Python string instead of just like a basic string. So I think it, like, if you had any like new line characters in there, I think it like doesn't include those, but yeah.
Yeah, I think like usually if you want to add a slash in, you need a double slash for a regular, like if this wasn't a raw string, you need to escape a slash character with another slash. So this gets kind of annoying. So raw string just makes it easier. Like,
And every language has its utilizes regular expressions in some manner, and they all look very similar. But just know that there's, go ahead.
Could you go over how to escape a character? I don't think we've covered that. I'm not quite sure a lot of people know exactly what Ankur was referencing.
Like that, like if you need to escape a character, like not include it.
Yeah, or when you have like an apostrophe or something that is going to break the string, so you have to escape the character because it's a special character.
I've actually never had to do that using a regular expression.
You would need to do it for the phone number searching.
Yeah, and we
word
also
to
do it
include
just normally writing strings, right? Like if you notice, if you try to type I'm, you need to escape or, you know, switch the way that you're going to organize a string. If that's not going to work, it breaks.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
Like
So-
when you have like an apostrophe is going to end the string, so you need to escape it with a backslash.
Oh, so like typically if I have a string called like Tom's something, are you talking about like removing?
Yeah, but you did a bad example there because you put out 2 quotes outside and 1, and that's another way to get around it, right? It had to use 1 and 1, then you had to escape
Yeah.
it. Now it's broken. Now escape the apostrophe. That's another way to get around it.
Yeah. So that's why I always say
If
if
you
you
use 2 quotes outside, yeah.
just always when in doubt, just if you're going to use something with quotes inside of the string, use double quotes outside of it. That's the easiest way to do that.
And that way you don't have to worry about escaping.
Correct. But yeah, like if you want to escape it, like I never actually run into this problem because I always use double quotes. So this is one way to do it. So I'm using, and again, this is probably bad practice. Wherever you're gonna go, they're gonna be like, yeah, don't do this. Just use double quotes. So yeah. So what this does is it's doing that backslash. It's saying, hey, skip the following character when it comes to like ending the string. So
There's a few more examples like parentheses. Parentheses are part of regexes. So if you actually are looking for a regex, you need to escape the character. Or if you're actually looking for a parenthesis, you need to include the backslash or forward slash to escape that character. To say I'm actually looking for a parenthesis here.
so
So like if you're looking for a
Yeah.
phone number, for example.
yeah, so if you're looking for that phone number, but yeah, we're just getting to like the nuances now. But yeah, so if I am looking for that, like, what was that before? Like something like this. It's not actively looking for, where'd it go? It's not looking for these parentheses, but if I was looking for like parentheses like that, what I'd have to do, forward slash
Other way, yeah.
like that. And
The
so,
other direction, I guess I meant backslash.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I never run into this because regex is very not that common, but it does occur occasionally. So that's saying like, hey, actually do include.
It's saying I'm looking for this character specifically. This is
Yeah.
not part of the regex.
Cool. All right. So yeah, that's regex. You do have one challenge today utilizing regex. Actually a couple of challenges. One's more of like practice regex, but we'll get into that. All right. I'm gonna actually